Good afternoon to one and all gathered here. I hope my voice is audible to everyone. Is it audible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am,
ma'am.
it is audible.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. And for this session, we have with us Dr. Suresh Kumar, sir, Associate Professor, School of Computer Engineering, VIT University, Vellore. He is going to speak on the topic collaborative learning and collaboration in digital workplace and its types. So, Professor, I extend my hearty welcome to you and thanks for accepting our invitation. And really, for the participants, we had some issues in the last session. Really, I'm very sorry for that. And usually in Microsoft Teams, there are many options available for us rather than the other platform. That's why we have chosen this platform because of the options which is enabled for organizers. And few issues will come then and there. And anyway, sorry again for the last, there was a delay in the start in the second session. And I hope you have enjoyed the session. And let us all move on to this final session of this day. And a reminder for all of you, today we will post the attendance, and tomorrow's attendance also we will post it afternoon itself. 80% attendance required, and tomorrow afternoon we will be having the valedictory function and assessment. So thank you one and all, and Suresh sir, the platform is for you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So, good afternoon, one and all present here. So, this is Dr. Suresh Kumar Nagarajan from VIT University, Vellore. I belong to the School of Computer Science and Engineering. I have 19 years of experience in this teaching and learning process. And research also, I have vast experience, 12 years, and so I have produced 2 candidates and 6 candidates under my supervision, and I'm giving them the knowledge in the image processing and data science areas. So this is about me, and I have got some funded projects, and I'm doing all those funded projects and patents, all those things, whatever is required for the teacher. So that is we are doing. And so this session is entirely different, and this is normal from my lecture, this collaborative learning and collaboration in digital workplace and its types. It is entirely different my nature of lecture. Okay, anyhow, so we do this practice in our university, and so all other educational universities may be following this collaboration learning process. Okay, that is what we are going to see here. And we know it, digital workplace, we know it, how now everything is transformed into digital workplace only. So whatever we do, teaching and other things, whatever project guidance we are doing, everything through this particular digital workplace only. So if you are not doing it in a proper way, and it will become very bored, very bored session. You have to attract your student to listen the class. Nowadays, what is happening is the student is not listening the class. Simply they'll on their or they'll enroll in the class, and after that they'll mute the mic and they'll go for their own activity. So they never come back. If at all we used to call them twice only, they'll come back and they'll say that yes, I'm available, and due to some intervention and network issues, I couldn't respond properly. My mic was not working. So these are the things was happening. So nowadays also happening, and again another 6 months it is going to happen for our teaching process. So here, when you go with this particular type of delivery by using your digital workspace, online type of lecture, so this has to be very interesting one. Then only the student will be attracted and they'll be in the learning process. If they are not learning it properly, so they won't be placed. Nowadays, the companies whoever is coming, and they know that the students who are studying under this particular online scheme, so they won't be having better idea about the subject. That is what the companies are believing. So because they won't listen at all, so we are not going to do any activity over here also. So the normal, so I'm not pointing any colleges. Some of the colleges, what they are doing is simply they are teaching, and finally they give the questions. From the questions, they'll answer something that they'll copy, and they, for uploading also they'll give some time. So uploading, they'll give some timing, then they'll do the upload. So many, this behavior is happening, and they'll copy everything, and they are not in thirst of learning the things. That is what the thing. And when they are in second year and third year, these things are normal, and they'll do it normal, and they'll in the fun way they'll do it, and they won't be acquiring the knowledge. If it is the classroom teaching, they'll come into the class and they'll hear, and because of our teaching aids and other things, they may listen something, and some information may be registered in their mind. So whenever they go for the placement and other things, they can easily answer. Some basic information is thorough, then they can easily answer. So when we go for this particular normal classroom teaching, there what happened is classroom teaching, the teacher will be teaching the concepts, and the student who are interested, and who are in thirst of learning the things, they may hear the concepts, and interactively they'll ask questions, and they'll proceed further in a good way. But the people who are in backbenches, we can say all backbenches are not, we can't say that they are not listeners. So backbenches also, they listen properly. So some of the people who are not interested to listen, they may not get the information. If it is a classroom teaching, and teacher and student relationship is like that, then it won't give the better output. That is the reason we go with this particular collaborative learning. This is not meant for student and teacher concept. So wherever you go, whichever the industry, so wherever you go there, if you want to learn the new thing, if it is by this particular collaborative learning, then it will be a effective method to learn the things. So that is why this particular topic has been given here. So we'll go one by one how this collaborative learning are introduced, what is the history of it, when it was started, and what is the strategy in the world, and what are the different strategies they are following, and then finally we'll come to the concept of how this particular digital workplace. So this is the workplace where we do our normal work nowadays. Okay, so we are using so many tools for doing this particular activity. Whatever the tool we use, we are connected, but we don't know whether your student is really connected to you. So the attendance purpose, only the students may be connected, and they won't be listening it properly. But in what way you can attract the students? Okay, so these are the practice we do. Normally we do it, and normally when we go to the classroom teaching, we never follow it, because the engineering teachers, so they wanted to deliver all concepts which comes under Anna University syllabus, or whichever the university. So we have to cover the syllabus, and we have to tell them that this is what the concept, and I taught all the syllabus point of view, and I taught all the models of the problems whatever we have. So you have to practice it. That is what the teachers aim. So their aim is to, yes. Hello.
Okay. So plan it, project was a individual research.
Sir, someone's mic is on, sir.
You trying to do on the manufacture try it's a project. Okay, everything. If you're planning a tour, other project, tour plan other project, so anything that you plan, it's called project. So manage the dictionary, dictionary meaning. So what is project? A specific plan or design, a planned undertaking.
Whether all are connected? So, yes, I wanted to
know. Project will be small or large.
Yes,
mic is on. Yes, someone's mic is on. I don't know. So the same thing we are doing. We are also doing the same thing.
It can be ஒரு சின்ன ப்ராஜெக்டாக இருக்கலாம், இல்லாட்டி லார்ஜ் ப்ராஜெக்டாகவும் இருக்கலாம். ஓகே, அந்த ப்ராஜெக்ட்ல
excuse me, who is this? Kindly mute your mic.
Planned activities. ப்ராஜெக்டை வந்து ஒரு பிளான்ட் ஆக்டிவிட்டி அப்படின்றத நம்ம மென்ஷன் பண்ணலாம். வாட் இஸ் பிளான்ட் ஆக்டிவிட்டி?
Participants, you
So
just please
planned
mute
activity
yourself.
அப்படின்றது வந்து என்ன அப்படின்னா, so you can see the last point, planned activity. So anything that you begin to do before that you have to plan something. So அதுதான். ஸோ என்னன்னா ஏதாவது நீ பண்ண போகிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி அதை வந்து
Dr. P. Ramya, sir.
Ramya ma'am.
Ma'am, so I muted, ma'am. From my side, I have muted Ramya, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So my request is, so everyone will be busy in your work. So if you have any other work, kindly mute your mic and then do your work. So that's what I can convey. That is what we are discussing here also. The students will do the mute and do their work, but here teachers are not muting themselves and doing their activity. It disturbs the class, no? So we have to be aware that this is the online forum. So whether our mic and video are muted, you have to look into it. This is the kind of cooperation expected from your side. Okay, thank you. So that is what, so the collaborative learning and collaboration in digital workspace, we are getting into it. And so the normal flow, it has got stuck up. Where I stopped, I don't know. Okay. So here in this collaborative learning, so the normal classroom teaching methodology will not help out to reach the students with the technology. Okay, so they have to know the technology, then only they can actively participate in their placements and they can get the good offers and whatever it is. I'm talking in aspect of we are a student and teacher forum. So in that forum only I'm talking. This can be taken for any kind of forum, any kind of new learning that can adapt this particular collaborative learning, and it will give the better output. That is why this particular topic is being given. And so whatever practice followed so far, when you are seeing all those practices, so our university, we are following that practice to reach the students. Okay, so normally if we have a theory subject, if we have any theory subject, then we'll have associated J component. We can say that it is a J component. Why we have that particular J component? If at all the subject is relevant to practical implementation and through the practical only they can learn it, then we'll go with the J component. It is called a J component. Just for your understanding, I'm saying it is a J component. One component we have. So in this J component, what we'll be doing is the relevant concepts. We won't be having the separate labs and other things. So whatever concepts we do discuss in the class, that has to be implemented in the J component, component as a project. So it is called a project-based learning. So I think you might have familiar with this particular concept. So project-based learning we'll be having. That is called PBL. So whatever subject you have, theoretical subject you have, theoretical subject definitely it will have the practical implementation. So by the practical, we are not giving them this exercise. We are asking them to do a project, and separate discussion will be there. In each and every concept, we'll have the discussion. The collaborative learning, these concepts are introduced. This project-based learning concepts are introduced. So instead of having one to many concepts, so you are the teacher, you are delivering the concept, the student is listening, and after the class they'll go back, and after some time again they'll come and they'll ask questions that, so this is what you taught. Some doubts they'll be asking. If it is a practical session, if it is a group discussion, if you are throwing the question to the student and you are asking, if you are making them using the group discussion way, then it is very easily understandable. So the collaborative learning thing can be adapted. Instead of, you can give the base of the information, then after that the remaining information can be given as a collaborative learning. Instead of teaching all the concepts, you can give them the collaborative learning and throw them the question and ask them to find the answer and give it the presentation in front of the group. Then that can be a different kind of learning. But when we come our picture, that is a teacher who works in university colleges, and they have to come up with the syllabus delivery within that 45 hours. So they're implementing all these things are not possible, but extra classes and other sessions, it can be implemented, but we are not able to do it because of the workload and other things, accreditation, other process, we are not able to do it. Better if you involve these things, the student can have a better experience. Now it become online, no? So in this online itself, so if you are, so I am teaching. So the example you can see here, I have started delivering my lecture, and some other person started this project work, and they are doing their work. So which means that the ultimate aim is to, they wanted to get the certificate. What is the outcome of this particular this workshop? Nothing. So final thing is, they'll have the certificate and they'll be adding that in their resume, if at all they are not participating in full-fledged manner. So the same way only students are also doing the thing. So because everyone has got stuck up in many works. Okay. Meanwhile, we are doing this particular attending these concepts and the seminars and other things. So we'll see what is this collaborative learning. So this is the this paragraph information is given. So the gist of it, I wanted to say that, so you want to, so instead of delivering the lecture to the whole the group, you can find out some groups, that is 2 or more in a group, and give them the work and get them back the results, and the results has to be presented in front of all the group. So what happens is, you are teaching some concept, but after that concept, that implementation, for example, you have to implement this particular 2 person can be allotted, and that person can be do the implementation, then they can give the presentation in front of the group. Then what will happen now, the other students will also listen, and they'll, because if student is teaching to the students, it will be a better understanding. Okay, and they'll come up with a different output. So the teacher will have a different and the perception of the output, and the student will be giving the thing in a different perception. So that is student understandable format. The teacher, they having a 19 years of experience, they'll go in their own way, but student can find out the smart solution also. So if at all you have the latest technologies and other things, it can be given as a group work, and from that group work, the presentation can be made. So from that, the people can easily understand, and the collaboration is made, and one person is doing, one group is doing, so the other group can give the other representation. Then finally, what you can do is, you can collaborate all this information, whatever the presentation and whatever the output they have given, you can collaborate and narrate the information, and you can give it back to the student. Then they can easily understand the thing. Okay. So what happens is, the silent participation is avoided here. Whenever you go with the digital workspace, when you do this kind of activity, giving them the work, so I'm not saying that it is a big project. Okay, small kind of work. For example, if you are teaching the subject image processing, and you wanted to test the students whether you can read the image from the image. So they have to find out what is any kind. You can tell them that any kind of tools you can use. Okay, so they can use Python or Java or others, MATLAB, anything. So any kind of tool you can use, but you have to read some image. Okay, if this is the information given to the students when you have started teaching the image processing subject. You have given this particular task. What will happen? The student will search. You can give them 10 minutes of time, then they'll do it, and their own perception and their own accustomed language, they'll do it, and immediately they'll give the presentation. You will make them the presenter and ask them to present it, then other students will understand that. So this particular tool, this technique is IM-Read is used for reading the information, so easily they'll understand. If you are getting the information from the students, then it is easily understandable. And in this collaborative kind of learning thing, so here there is no teacher and ruling. A teacher should not rule the students. So okay, the friendly nature only, you have to go with the students, and there is no grading. If you are putting up the grading, and there won't be a learning process. So they'll fear that whether I'll score or not, so whether I can do it or not. So the grading system should not be there when you are going for this particular collaborative learning. After this collaborative learning, and then finally you will go with the exam. There only the grading point has to come. So immediately, if you give the grading system, the students will not learn. It won't go into their mind, and they never reproduce. Okay, so whenever you go with this particular collaborative type of learning, there the grading system and ruling type of thing should not be there. Okay, so this is how this particular Smith and Grigor in 1992 we started this particular collaborative learning. So this particular, so he did this particular survey, and he has given this collaborative learning will help to get the better output. So, and also, so here in our university, we have the concepts. Whenever in the last 5-7 years back itself, not 10 years back itself, we had the scheme called whenever we have the questions. So we'll be having higher order thinking questions. So higher order thinking, that is called, we'll in the short terminology, we'll be having the thing hot. So whenever we frame the question, the question itself will be having the part that after framing the question, we'll be having the part hot, yes or no. We'll be having the information. So in your question paper, so when we ask the thing, so it should around 70% of the questions from the higher order thinking. So the students could not answer from their books. Okay. So normally, so we started this open book test 7 years back itself. And the second assessment normally it will be through the open book concepts only. So the question paper should not contain the questions which can be answered directly. That is what our scheme is. So the higher order thinking, okay, develop a higher level thinking skills in students. How this particular higher order thinking will be developed? So by the way of invoking the thing by using this particular collaborative and cooperative learning. Okay, so I said no. So we have the component called J component or otherwise project based learning. So these things will help them to do these kind of activities. So when they wanted to implement something, so that is not restricted to your subject. Okay, if I'm teaching the image processing will be giving the basic concepts of image processing and what is spatial domain, what is frequency domain, all those information will come. All those basic information will be available. Based upon the basic information, they can go with some other work which combines mechanical, electrical and electronics people problems. They can combine and they can take, and the image processing concepts has to be adapted there. So what happens is collaboration is happening. So if you are giving the freedom to the students, then what happens is collaboration is happening. So they go with the technique, the base is taken, and they'll go with the other domain problem, and they'll produce the results. So which is the freedom we are giving. So when you are going for this particular collaborative, that should not be another marking system, that is a grading system. You should give them the freedom to learn the things. So the collaborating and cooperative learning, whenever you adapt this technique, then you have to go with the freedom. So you have to give the freedom to the students, then only they'll have the collaboration, then they'll come up with the new ideas. So normally our students, the J component, through that around 60 papers will be getting. So outcome of that particular work, we will be getting 60 different. So normally in our class we'll have 60 students. So individually we'll be giving the work, or otherwise we'll be combining the people and we'll be giving the work. That is individually if you are giving them, then that won't come under collaborative. But some of the people, the final years, whoever they wanted to go for the higher studies, what they'll do is they'll have an individual project for the better the admissions. They'll go for the individual project. But normally the students will be combined and they're asked to do the collaborative work. And also here we'll have the student one. Here we'll have the concept of university code and other things. In this, all the students will come in that one class. Mechanical students and electrical students. All those students will be mixed together, and we'll be having them in the class. So they'll combine and they can collaborate. Their concepts may be shared, and they can come up with a different problem domain. So all the UG students, they know the concepts of how to do research. The reason behind this, so we have given them the freedom, and we have started this particular collaborative learning process. So whenever we are offline, that time itself we have started. So the students are very much interested. If the problem is given to them, then finding the solution to the problem, they are very much interested. So instead of going with the quizzes, or instead of going with the digital assessment, they are very much interested on doing this particular PBL, that is project-based learning. So which helps them to understand what is this particular technique is, what is the problem is, what kind of solution we can give, And also the teachers, whoever is expert in the particular subject, they can easily identify that whether it has been copied or they have done it from their own perception. Everything can be done, so the experts can easily understand. So the collaborative learning is incorporated in the teaching, then they will be very good in their subject. They can shine in their field. Okay, that is what this collaborative learning is introduced. But so most of the colleges, we are not doing that activity. If we incorporate this kind of activity, this will be helpful. So that is called project-based learning. So we'll come into that picture later. So if it is a collaborative process, whatever end product we are getting, that will be a effective one. Because if one is doing some mistake, the other can easily point out that this is what the mistake you have done. This part is missing. Like this, they can give and the better product will be coming out. So collaborating learning is not just a classroom technique. Okay, so we can't mean that it is not only the classroom technique. As I said, theoretical part will be there, lecturing will be there. Apart from that, you have to adapt the different techniques to do this particular collaborating learning in the way of assigning the groups, give them some work to that group, and getting the results from them. Then that is a collaborative learning. So we people will say that if I throw some questions, if they give the answer there itself, the thing is over. It is not like that. So you have to make them in a group and make them to work and come up with the results. Then that is collaborative or cooperative learning. Okay. So these are the information about different authors has given their different perception. So whatever I taught, so that is their perception. So we'll see what is cooperation versus collaboration. So this table indicates that what is the activity we have and what is the communication from this particular activity, and what is cooperation and what is the collaboration. So when you take this particular learning process, there here the communication is information transmission. Okay, so we'll be having this particular information transmission, and we go with, when you go with that particular, that is communication is your information transmission. When you go with this cooperation, here only the learning is the knowledge transmission only. In the collaboration also the same thing, we'll have a knowledge generation. So here transmission is there, and if we, when you go with this particular collaboration, you have this particular knowledge generation. Okay, so the learning, if it is your activity is cooperation, what is cooperation? The teacher is delivering the lecture and student is sitting and listening the information, which is observe the information, and they say that okay, they have understood. Whatever information is understood by the teacher, it is transmitted. But when you are going with this particular collaboration, there the process comes, that is the knowledge generation comes. What is it, knowledge generation? Because so you have assigned some work to the people and you are asking them to work on it, and they'll come up with the results. So the knowledge is generated there. So they'll be in thirst of researching things. So what is available and what is the software is being used. So I'm talking in the perspective of computer science. What is the software is used and how this can be implemented. So all those things they'll search and they'll do it. So knowledge generation has been done. So inquiry, the activity is the inquiry. So the communication is an individual inquiry. So when you are going for this particular cooperation, so it is a delegation of tasks. Okay. So when you are coming with this particular collaboration, it is a common inquiry. So it is a common inquiry of that particular group. So when you are coming with the collaboration and everything which comes under group. Okay, and decision making. So if it is activity is a decision making, the communication is agree or disagree. These things will get, and the cooperation will be if it is an individual thing, what you'll do is you'll be going with the majority rules. So decision making. So raise your hands whoever wants this particular software for implementing the task. So the majority voting. But when you are going with this particular decision making with the collaboration, you'll have a social negotiation to consensus. So you'll be having the social negotiation. What is the possibility of doing it? The group will be searching the information which gives the possibility of doing the thing, social negotiation. Okay, that is what decision making which comes under this collaboration. And when you are coming with the goals and agendas, so the communication will be your multiple goals and multiple agendas. And the cooperation, when you are going with the cooperation, the entire team will say that one goal or multiple agendas, they may say one goal, submitting the assignment by this date. So the different people will be giving the different dates for submitting the thing. So the multiple agendas will come. But when we are going with the collaboration, they'll have one goal. So finding the solution for image enhancement. So that is, if the task of image enhancement is given, then they will do that particular task. So one goal is doing that particular task, and there we will have a one agenda only. So how this can be implemented, that one agenda will be there. And accountability is the communication will be your individual accountability. When you are going this collaboration, that is also individual, and the collaboration, if it is a group, then the group accountability will be there. So everyone is responsible for doing that particular thing. So next one is the learning relationship. It is communication will be a complete independence, and cooperation will be a partial independence, because it is a cooperation only. So one side, the other side, people have asked for doing the particular task, so the partial interdependence will be there. So this is a complete independence. The learning relationship is complete independence. So how they are going to learn the thing. So when you are going with the cooperation, it's a partially interdependence. Okay. So when you are going with the collaboration, the complete team has to learn for doing the particular task. Okay. So this is the difference between your cooperation and collaboration. So we are talking about collaboration when we are not going with the cooperation. Cooperation is your normal learning process, the classroom teaching, which comes under cooperation. When you are implementing the collaboration, then you'll get a better results. When the teacher is going to have a lecture delivery, then they have to adapt this kind of PBL based project and other things, then they'll get better results. So this history, when you are taking this particular history, so the short terminology, I'll say that Sir James Britton and others in England created an active learning procedure known as a collaborative learning based on theorizing your the learning process. Okay. So here they have considered, this is the history. So 1970s they have started. So earlier days, so in our Gurukulam itself, we have the concepts of this particular collaborative learning. So there how this Gurukulam started teaching the people now by the way of this collaborative learning. The teamwork is being given and individually the task is assigned, and the task has to be completed by the particular student, and they have to give the output to the Guru. That is what the Gurukulam talks, but it has not been recorded. So we have the history, and we are talking about the history. It has not been recorded properly in the paperwork. Another thing from that, if you take that James Britton in the 1970s, he started about this particular the collaborative learning community. This collaborative learning community will help the people to learn better and produce the results in a better way. That is what the thing. So how this collaboration has evolved. So this is the normal collaboration, how the human is evolved. So this is what the picture which shows how this has been evolved. So when the collaboration initially started with this collaboration, initially nobody even remembers, okay, even remembers initial days. And after that, when the man evolved and human evolved, there we had the concepts to remember the thing. So for that, what are the things we had now? So we have digital information, because everything is available in digital, and you have the boundaries for knowing the information, and small groups and individual which will form this particular information to do the collaborative research, and email. These are the information which are used to help to have this particular collaboration. Okay, and the next thing is you have the transparency and empowered employees, and beyond the email we had so many communication information, and forums are available to discuss the information. So the collaboration has evolved. Now what the people are doing is everywhere the collaboration is needed. If you want to do some task, the collaboration is needed. Without the collaboration we can't do. So the even our education institutions, what we do is when we are going for the admission, we'll say that so some degrees 2 years here and 2 years from your US universities. That is what the admission procedure we have. So that gives 2 years from Indian study and 2 years from your foreign studies will get you more information. So the collaboration is needed. Wherever you go, the collaboration is needed. Now the boundaries, there is no boundaries for this particular collaboration. The worldwide the collaboration can be established. But because of this pandemic, some of the information and sharing is restricted. And so this particular educational goals for this particular collaboration is, so the thing is, first thing is, if you want to make this particular collaboration in effective way, so the involvement is needed. And if it has been a group, then the cooperation and teamwork is needed. So we have talked about cooperation. 1 minute. I think somebody mic was on, so I muted them. That's it. So this is about this education goals. So already we have seen that particular cooperation and collaboration difference we have seen. So here also we see the thing cooperation and teamwork. Inside the group, we need a cooperation. Okay, in between the people, the cooperation is needed, and the teamwork is needed for doing the work, and community responsibility they have to know. So I normally give the work to the students. 3 students if I give, that is project based learning. If I give them, the 2 will actively work, 1 will be the silent, and what he'll do is at the end of the day, whenever we have the presentation and if we have any discussion, that time he'll learn from the other 2 and they'll come. So that kind of thing has to be avoided, and they should know the responsibility of it. The students, and mostly they'll be friends, no, so they'll be helping them, but the community responsibility they have to know. After the completion of the thing, what is the outcome it is going to be? Their entire thing is their placement and better outcome. Okay. So and next is this will goal, this particular collaborative learning will improve the higher level thinking. So that is what I said, higher order thinking, because there is no boundary for it, there is no restriction for it. They can do their own way of search and finding the solution. There is no restriction for it. And oral communication is needed. So communication will be improved, and self-management and leadership skills and promotion of student-faculty interaction and increase in student retention and self-esteem and responsibility. So these are the education goals which will come in this particular collaborative learning. So the assumptions about learning. So what are the assumptions? So what is the assumptions? What are the assumptions we had? Learning is an active, constructive process. That is what our assumption. Active, constructive process. So we are thinking that learning should be, the teacher has to teach, the student has to listen, and they have to understand. And they have to go to the home and they do the practice and they have to understand it. That is what the assumptions we had. Learning depends on rich context. So learners are diverse and learning is inherently social. Okay, so this is about the assumptions about the learning. So to have a better learning process and to get better results, this collaborative is the final solution of it. That is what it has been given. And collaborative learning, which comes under one umbrella, so these things will come into the collaborating learning components. We can say that is a components, we can say. So the thing is, first one is your cooperative learning, writing groups and learning communities, peer teaching, and problem-based learning and discussion groups. So I'm mainly concentrating on this particular problem-based learning. The thing is, we do practice that problem-based teaching. So problem-based learning. So that is a better thing for doing this particular collaborative learning. That is problem-based learning. So giving them the project and giving them the problem and asking them to find the solution. Okay. So these are the different things of the cooperative learning, and writing groups is giving them the problem and asking the groups to give different solutions. Give them the asking them to give the solution. If you do that particular thing, what will happen? Different kind of solutions will have. So with the particular problem itself, we'll get a different solution. Okay. So this is comes under, these are the different approaches you can go with this particular collaborative learning. So you have a widespread use of this collaborative learning based on your theory and validated by research. So this whatever information collaborative learning we are talking, so everything is implemented based upon the theory and validated research, whatever concepts we have, then only this collaborative learning concepts are introduced. And so you have this particular different learning methods are available to do this particular collaborative learning. We'll learn one by one. So we'll understand why we have to go with this particular cooperative learning method. So the cooperative learning, which comes under this collaboration only. So it is used to promote student learning and academic achievement. So what we are doing is learning process is improvised. So if you are doing a normal teaching, one-to-one teaching, what will happen? One-to-many teaching, what happen? The teacher will deliver the lecture. So they are intent to deliver the lecture within that particular stipulated time, and the students won't be getting the information properly. Okay, and because it is under the cooperative learning, and because the students are having that lecture and they are not listening, many things will happen. If it has been task based, and if you're assigning the task, then it will be a better thing. So, and this particular cooperative, that is learning, which will help enhance the student satisfaction with their learning experience, because you have assigned some work to them, they have to do it. After completing the work, the students will feel that he has completed the work, and he is knowing about the basic things, whatever is needed for completing the particular task. And also it helps the students to develop skills in oral communication. The reason for it is internally the students will communicate. So if you have the students from different states and different countries, if you group them, then easily they can have the communication and they can discuss, and they never fear to communicate. The oral communication will be developed, and the students will develop social skills. So how to respect the people, how to be patient in one is delivering the concepts. Okay, how to be attentive in the class, attentive to the concepts, all those things the students will develop. And it is also develop students self-esteem, and also it increases the students retention, and it develop a community of learners, because if you are assigning the work and they are doing it. So these are the 5 elements of cooperative learning. So we have seen that you have to understand, we have seen the difference of cooperative and collaborative. Okay, cooperation which comes in the collaboration. Okay, so here you'll have 5 elements. One is your positive interdependence and face-to-face interaction you'll be having, and individual and group accountability will be there, and interpersonal and small group skills will be developed, and group processing will be carried out. So these are the 5 elements. So positive interdependence, if you are a group, then you are aiming to solve a particular problem. So the positive interdependence will be there, and you'll have a face-to-face interaction also will be there. And so some of the people won't be interacting with the people. So if you are doing this group kind of activity, project-based work, if you are assigning in a group, then face-to-face interaction will be there. They can easily interact and they do the work. Okay, so this is about the 5 elements of cooperative learning, and we'll see one by one. So that is called a positive interdependence. So each group member's efforts are needed to complete the task, because it has been assigned as a group work. Then what happens? They have to complete it. They'll be dividing the work into modules, and it will be given to the individuals. So individuals, they have to do it. They have to do it, and if they are not doing it, you can't come up with the output. Okay, and they'll have a unique contribution. So there the learning comes. So individually, the particular people will learn. So if at all some concepts is given, so they'll search, or otherwise they'll ask the people, and they'll ask the teacher, or they'll ask the expert to learn the thing. So this is how this particular unique contribution will develop. So he'll be thorough in his concepts, whatever he introduced. Okay, so the thing is, if it is a group activity, either sink or swim together. That is what, whether you are going to sink or swim. And you have the face-to-face interaction. So the face-to-face interaction is there, which is going to promote your each other's success. So orally explain how to solve the problems. If it is a group with 3 members, then you will have a discussion. No? If it is a digital workplace also, the particular student will form a group, and through that MS team, they'll connect and they'll talk about their project, or there is Zoom meeting, they'll connect and they'll talk. So how this can be implemented within that stipulated time, we have to do it. So somebody will be explaining the problem statement, then how to solve it. Somebody will be giving the advice like this. So the teaching one's knowledge to others. So somebody has learned how to implement, then he'll be teaching the thing to the others. I said no the earlier. So the students, if we are assigning the 3 students, as a students, 2 students will be doing, and 1 student is not done the work, and when they are coming for the presentation or discussion, so they'll be learning the things from others. So others' knowledge is grasped by him, and he'll be knowing that this is what I'm going to implement. And also the checking for understanding. So he'll do the, so understand, if he is not understanding the concept, he'll check for it, how this particular concept is implemented. He'll read it once, and or otherwise he'll ask the group member. So, and also the new concepts, whatever they learned, the techniques, whatever they are proposing. So someone will study and they'll be discussing. So, yeah, and also the connecting the present thing, whatever they have identified, so that will be connected with the past learning. So whatever they learned earlier, that can be connected. So this is how the face-to-face interaction will improve. And individual and group accountability. So what happens is keeping the size of the group small, which means that if you are making it, so 60 students in a class, if you are not making them in a group with 3 to 4 members, then it is very difficult. So you have to make the group very small. So 3 to 4 or 2 to 3, that is the maximum limit you have to have. So the group accountability will be there. So easily you can ask them what is the module you have implemented, what is the contribution you can. So everyone will have the feel that this is what my contribution, I have to do this like this. They'll be, if it is a group, larger group is being given, so entire class, if I am giving the work, what happens? One person will be doing the work, other person will copy the work. That is what will happen. To avoid that, this particular thing, a small group has to be given, and giving an individual test to each student. So even though it is a group work, the test can be done by giving the test to the individual. Okay, assigning 1 student in each group the role of the checker. So the group itself, I said no, 3 members, so 2 did the project and 1 is not doing the project. He learned and come for the presentation. But in the 3, we should have 1 checker, role of checker. So what he'll do is he'll be acting as a checker, and he'll be intimating this student has not participated, not contributed. He learned and come for the presentation. This is not for grading them. So as I said, whenever you are going for the collaborative learning, the knowledge acquisition is very, very important instead of this particular grading system. So make them to learn. The collaborative learning outcome should be the better placement or better higher studies. That is what the thing. So the thing is, whatever, if it is a company product, then better product should be the output. Okay. So, and also we are making the employer or student to learn the things. Whenever same kind of project comes, they are in the position to solve that particular problem. That is what the ultimate intention. Grading and other things, it won't help to improve people's knowledge. Okay. So we have to make the people to understand and make them thorough in the work to implement the other work. Okay. Having students to teach what they learn to someone else. Okay. So whatever they have learned, and ask them to teach the other people to understand. And interpersonal and small group skills, So it will teach the leadership and decision making and trust building and communication and conflict management skills. So this particular small group skills will improve all these things. So mutual understanding and everything. Okay. And the group processing will discuss how well they are achieving their goals and maintaining effective working relationship. And also this the group processing will make, if at all they come out with a good thing, so they'll have another good behaviors to continue or change. So they'll identify these are the good behaviors we have. So this helped us to reach the goal. Likewise, if it is not a good behavior, they'll in a position to change it. So they'll have a group processing. And the next thing comes, that is called as till now we have talked about all this collaborative and cooperation and how the group will be and how the work can be assigned. So all those things we have seen. So now we'll get into this particular problem-based learning. Excuse me, any organizers are there? Shall I take 5 minutes break? Okay, anyhow, participants, I'll take 5 minutes break and I'll come back. Thank you. So let's, sorry, I have taken a 5 minutes break. So we'll start again. People are there? Am I audible? So that is the response I wanted to get. Some people are listening. No. So anybody can respond? So here we'll have this particular problem-based learning. This is what I said that we people are used to have this practice, problem-based learning. So here this particular problem-based learning, we will term that as a project-based learning. Why? Because we have theory concepts. For the theory components, concepts, equivalent projects will be giving to the students. The students will be practicing that particular work and they'll come out the solution. When they come out the solution, so they will be knowing that what are the theory concepts are incorporate, what is the solution for that particular theory concepts, everything they'll be knowing. So after the completion of the project-based learning. So this will improvise your constructivism and social constructivism and situated learning. So these are the things will be improved when you are going with this particular problem-based learning. So this PBL is PBL, problem-based learning, which is an interactive process. So when you're taking, this is an interactive process. The reason is, so we'll be teaching the concepts. For example, if I'm teaching the concept in your image, so in that I'm talking about the image enhancement. If I'm teaching them, then I'll be giving them the image enhancement relevant problems, whatever has been carried out throughout the world by referring the different papers, research articles. They'll be knowing it. Some of the things they'll be taking and implementing it. Whenever the implementation comes, they'll be asking the question. For example, one group is given the implementation of enhancing the image. So I think the people from different domains will be there. For example, you have the image is having some blurriness in your thing. So you have to enhance the quality of the image. That is what the task. So I have taught the concept of the image enhancement. I'm giving them the task of doing the enhancement, that removing the blurriness in your image, and some of the pixels are not at all needed and noises are there, that has to be removed. If it is a task has been given to the student, then the student immediately what he'll do, so how the image is going to be read. So he'll be thinking that aspect. So first concept is image reading concept, they will come up. So after the reading the image directly we can't do the process. So because by using the MATLAB and other things, how it is going to be processed, they'll be thinking of. If they get into that particular detail, they'll think of, oh, it could be the intensity values. So the image is framed as the image matrix. In that only we can do the process. Likewise, they'll come to know the concept. This is for the understanding only I'm saying. So likewise, then they'll be learning step by step. So after doing the intensity values, how this can be improvised. So if you want to define the particular value or enhance a value, what is a technology can be adapted. So they'll be thinking of the pixel relationship, other things. So whatever they learned in this particular theoretical concept, they'll be doing in the project-based learning. Okay. So this is the interactive process only. So they'll be reading the problem, and so the first thing is you'll read the problem and brainstorm. So hypothesis the thing. So what is the problem, and then you'll be hypothesis the information and identify the learning issues. So what are the difficulties there? So if you want to do the implementation, what are the difficulties there? If you are going with the MATLAB, and what are the things to be learned? So likewise, and research the learn. So identify the learning issues, then how this particular learning issues can be resolved. So MATLAB means, so you have the help. So we don't know about the MATLAB, then how to learn this by using the online courses and other things you can do. That is what the research and then learn. Then next one is the return and retrieve and report and review. So what you have to do is, after doing the research learn, you have to come back to your problem domain. Then from the learning, you have to report. You have to say that how this problem can be resolved and report, and you have to make it, and then you have to review it. Then after that, the next page. So which means that you are going for the evaluation. So you'll go the next page, which means that next work you are going and you are doing the process for each and every work. You will be doing this particular thing. Then finally you have to evaluate it. Okay, so this is the example is given. So immunology lab and all those things. I'm not talking all those examples. I'm telling you the example. Read the problem and brainstorm, because this, I think most of the people may be from the computer science background. That's why I have taken the image processing, and in that I'm telling you the thing. Okay. So the community types. So we have this learning process. We have different community types. So you have your learning community. So this particular community will do now. They'll focus on learning together and sharing and developing the relationship. That is what this particular learning community will do. That is focus on learning together and sharing the information in between the people and developing the relationship. Okay, and the communities of practice. So what they'll do, focus on developing professional practice they'll do. And community of inquiring, and this community will focus on inquiring about an issue or area, whatever it is. A knowledge community which will focus on developing the knowledge. Okay, so the learning communities. So this is about the talking about this particular PBL. So interactive process only we are learning. In that we have these type of 4 different communities: learning, and communities for practice, and community for inquiry, and knowledge community. And the learning communities. So here you'll have socio-cultural and constructivities views of learning. That is 2 important questions were there in this particular learning communities. So what social engagements and process provide the proper context of learning? Okay, what forms of co-participation might be required when engaging learners in these forms of learning? So these are the things, questions will be raised when you go with this particular learning communities. Okay. And e-learning. So the teacher to the moderator when you are taking this. So the e-learning. So here, when you come to this particular e-learning, so here you'll have the access. The first step is you'll have this particular access and motivation. So here, setting up the system and accessing. So to learning the thing, so you'll be setting up the system and accessing. And here you'll be welcoming and encouraging the students to learn it. Okay. And the next one is we'll be doing the particular online socialization. So here, sending and receiving the messages, familiarizing and providing bridges between cultural, social, and learning environments. And next one is your information exchange. The first one is access and motivation. Make the people to do the learning. For that, what are the steps you are going to carry out? And next one is you are going with this particular online socialization by the way of familiarizing and providing bridges between your cultural and social learning environments to get with this particular e-learning. And next one is information exchange. So how the information is going to be exchanged. So everything comes under your cooperative and collaborative learning only. So this is the concept which is being introduced in the year of 2005. When the e-learning is being introduced, there the attracting people were very difficult, because the people won't be interested to learn the concepts. It's very difficult to attract the people. So what are the steps to be made to attract the people for getting into this particular e-learning? So information exchange and knowledge construction. So after this particular e-learning, so you're facilitating the process, and we will be doing the conferencing to make them to understand the concepts. And development. Final thing is providing links outside closed conference and supporting and responding. So that is what the steps are there. So welcoming, encouraging, and familiarizing, and facilitating the process, and supporting and responding. This is the learning phase when you are going with the e-learning. Okay. So here, when you are go with this e-learning concepts, also making the people to understand is very difficult. So step by step only you can have this particular solution. What is the outcome of this particular e-learning concept is here. So why this particular e-learning concept is talk to over here is when you are going with this collaboration, when you are going with the collaboration, so initially if you start that collaboration, if you are stopping the normal lecture classes, if you are doing that process, many of the students may not adapt to the particular situation because they may think that the class we can sit idle and we can listen the thing, and whenever the exam comes we can learn and we can do the thing. If they are in this particular motivation, they never adapt. So whenever the e-learning concepts are introduced, many people have been adapted to the system, and many people have utilized and they learned, and many people and the conventional teachers, they never get into this particular e-learning. So now the particular pandemic situation made everybody to go with this particular e-learning only. So online classes, e-learning only solution for this particular pandemic situation. We are into that particular solution, and we are doing the activity, and we are making the students to learn the better things. And here, what is the challenge we have to take it is this particular e-learning, that online method, how this particular online method is going to be help the students to work in better way and better knowledge. Because I found that some of the companies who have come for them interview, or otherwise it is another walk-in interviews they are conducting. In that, mainly I have seen some of the advertisement itself. The 2021 batches are not allowed. So which means that, so they are thinking that this particular online methodology of teaching, they never bring the knowledge to the students. So this particular the conception has to be changed, and we have to make the people to understand that through online teaching itself, the people have learned many things. And I wanted to tell you one thing. So in VIT, this third year students, that is the third year students who has gone to fourth year, the initial days that we have started the college by July, the regular semester started. So for the fourth year, the initial days, we got around I think 20 to 22 super dream companies who offers CTC above 21 lakhs. They comes under this particular super dream offers. So many of the students we got placed, and Microsoft which offered 75 lakhs per annum. So that is a thing. So what I'm saying is the teaching methodology and teaching aids and the project-based learning, which made the student to understand the subject in very well manner way, and they whenever they go for interview, they reproduce whatever they learned, the view of the projects and other things. The companies got attracted that also whatever learning process other colleges have, VIT has a different learning methodology, and everything they implemented through projects. So the student has better knowledge. Instead of this particular theoretical knowledges, they have the better knowledge of doing the thing. So our people got placed in some good companies, Microsoft, Google, all the super dream offers they've got into. So here, how this has been achieved now based on this particular project-based learning. So I'm saying that whenever you go with this particular learning process, instead of going with classroom teaching, you just adapt this collaboration and cooperation teaching methodology by the way of giving them the projects. We can't go with classes in group discussion alone. So you do have normal lectures. Meanwhile, you just have this particular project-based learning, giving them the work and making them to understand the theoretical concepts. Then that will be helpful for the students to learn the thing. So many open sources are available. The student can implement the thing by using the open source tools, and they can acquire the knowledge of the theory concepts. If it is an online class, the people will mute and they'll do their own work. But when we give some work to them, definitely they'll in search of all these concepts and they'll try to implement it. Okay, so the e-learning is the base of this particular digital workspace. That is a collaborative learning in your digital workspace. So when you go with this particular digital workforce, so it is here it is named as your future workforce, but normally we do everything through this particular online scheme only. So this will cultivate the patience and engage with the communities and find and share the information and learn and grow, and always we are connected. So some examples we can say, the universities, whenever they want to have the meeting, no need to find the rooms and halls and galleries to conduct the meeting. So whenever they wanted, immediately they can connect. So after 9, after 10, so whichever is having higher priority, immediately it can be conducted, because always we are all connected through MS Teams, WebEx, whatever it is the communication tool we have. And so the teacher and student will also have always connected. So whenever we are sitting in the cabin, the student has to find the free time of us, and there's free time, they have to come and meet us and they have to discuss. But whenever this kind of online forum which is available, digital workspace is available, they can easily do the discussion, and they proceed in well way. So this digital workforce will help the students to understand the thing in better way. So here this particular enterprise and consumer web, it has to bridge a gap in between the consumer web and the enterprise. So for that, so here when you take this particular consumer web, and there you will have these things, that is your new tools and behavior and transparency, ease of use and innovation, easy to find, connect, share and create and consume, evolving, bold, engage and collaborate. All these things in the consumer web. The enterprise will have a trapped in email legacy system, old ways of working, not efficient, command and control, hard to navigate, not adapting, scared, disengage. So these are the thing will be there in the gap between your consumer and the enterprise. This has to be built. The gap has to be filled to have this consumer and enterprise. So here the thing is, the consumer and enterprise we are talking, that is your teacher and student relation. How we are going to build the gap in between the consumer and enterprise, that is student and teacher. So we have to make them to build this gap. So we have to go with the collaborative teaching. If you are having one-to-many teaching, so what happened? So you will be delivering, the many people who are sitting, some of the people will be listening, some of the people won't listen. So the collaboration will make you to have the better understanding the concepts. Okay. So the common collaboration problems are, so here the thing is, so you'll have your work-life balance. I'll come in the, so work-life balance will be there, and improving employee engagement, making work more efficient. So the more efficient way, if you want to do it, there's a digital workplace alone, it won't help to do the thing. And department and organization alignment, duplication of the content, and cross-boundary communication, too much time spent in email, hard for getting the information, and find subject matter experts. These are the problems when you are going with this particular collaboration problems. So whenever you go with the collaboration problems, you need to expect one group is given and one person is good enough to do the things, then only the particular group can shine and they can proceed further. So these are the common collaboration problems you'll have when you are going with this collaboration. Okay, so impact of collaboration. So when you are taking this particular collaboration index and strategy orientation and market turbulence. Okay, so this is in perspective of industry perspective we are talking. Okay. So here you can take your overall performance. So these are the profitability, profit growth and sales growth, labor productivity, product development, consumer satisfaction, innovation and product quality. So this everything, this is about in the perspective of your industry. So everything you take into your student teacher relationship. So the profit growth and profitability and labor productivity, product development. So this is based upon, these are the industry perspective. Everything has to be taken in the student and teacher perspective. So if you are taking everything in a collaborative way, so you will be getting the better performance. Okay. So if it is a collaboration, all the knowledge, whatever they are acquiring will be more, and you'll be getting the better product. And so your student will be given to the industry with the product implementation, and they'll have the product experience. The particular company can easily get the people, Okay, so the many things will be there, innovation will be more. So likewise, so when we are going with this particular collaboration, you will get a better performance. Okay, and if you take this ROC curve of your impact of collaboration, so you'll be having your advanced collaborators will help you to reach the better performance. Okay. So the benefits when you are taking this particular benefits of this particular collaboration. So you'll have internal purposes and customer purposes and partners and suppliers everywhere. The whatever the contribution is needed, that will be an increasing one only. Okay. This is about your majority of respondents say their companies enjoy measurable business benefits from, for example, it is a collaboration thing, then you'll be having all the, the access of knowledge will be increased and reducing communication costs, increasing speed access to internal experts, decreasing travel costs because of this particular, so online and digital workforce. So these are the things that are happening. So decreasing travel costs, increasing employee satisfaction, reducing operational costs, reducing time to market for products, many things involved in that particular digital workplace will help you. And most of the higher ups, they can easily conduct the meeting with the lower grade people and they can easily communicate. Wherever they are, flexibly they can do the work. Wherever they are, they can easily connect to the company and they can do the work. Okay. So principles of collaboration. So you have these 12 sets of principles you have. One is individual benefits is just as important as the overall corporate benefit. So first thing is in the collaboration, individual benefit and strategy before the technology. So whatever strategy we are planning, that strategy before the technology. And third one is listen to the voice of the employee. So you have to listen to the voice of the employee, which means the student. We can say that if it is a company perspective, we can take it as a company perspective, or otherwise it's a student perspective. And learn to get out the way and lead by example and integrate into the flow of work and create a supportive environment and measure what matters. And 9th one is persistence, and 10th one is adapt and evolve, and 11th one is employee collaboration also benefit the customer. Here the customer is your placement office or placement companies, all those things. Okay, and 12th one is collaboration can make the world a better place. So these are the 12 components of your principles of collaboration. Okay. And so the collaborating learning method helps the students learn how to work effectively as a team. So but we have to taught them how to they proceed. Okay, and here you'll have this particular Tuckman's model. So the forming and storming, norming and performing and adjourning. So these are the Tuckman's model, which helps to do this particular collaborative learning. So the forming is a little agreement and guidance and direction for the. Then you'll have a storming. So you increase the clarity of the purpose. What are the increased clarity and coaching? So how to do that particular work, that is storming. And norming is you'll do the clearly defining what is the roles and responsibility and facilitation, how this can be implemented, what are the open sources are available. Like this, we'll be giving the information. And performing, focus on the goal achievement and delegation and clear vision and purpose. And adjourning is the final thing, that is a task completion, good feeling about achievements and recognition. So this is the collaborative learning method: forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. So this is the Tuckman's model, which helps the better learning process. So the types of collaborative learning techniques. So this is what the final topic which is being involved in your topic of discussion. So here we have think and write, pair, share. So these are the things you'll have. So think or write, which is independently about a question has been given to the student and forming ideas from their own writing. So that is what think and write. Okay. The types of collaborative learning, we have three things: think, write, think or write, or pair or share. you are taking a pair, students are grouped in pairs to discuss their thoughts. So this step allows students to articulate their ideas and to consider those of others. Okay, so pair, group together to identify the thoughts and share. So the students pair whatever they did it. So they'll be sharing the information with the group, larger group. That is what when I started the lecture, I was saying that. So you give the work to the students and they'll do the work implementation, and finally they'll come up with the solution. So the solution has to be explained to the all other people. Student to student communication will give the better understanding. So this is called share. So after finding the solution, they'll go to the presentation, that is share. So think or write, or pair, or share. Okay. So you'll be having informal collaborative learning groups. You'll be having formal collaborative learning groups. You'll be having, and informal collaborative learning is based on how learners are organized in learning environments in the informal learning groups. So for example, in our teaching itself, you may have in your university itself, you can have the clubs and chapters. Through the clubs and chapters, the people can do the work like hackathon, macathon, runathon, anything, codeathon. So by using that way, they can have the informal group, and but it's a club which is active in the university. So through that group, they can conduct some seminars and other things. They can learn the thing. So informal group. For example, I am assigning some work to the students, my class students. Then what they'll do is they'll be thinking of doing some course, but in the clubs and other chapters are there, they'll do some activity. In that activity, they'll participate and they'll learn the things and they'll come out with the solution. That solution can be incorporated whatever the teacher said in the class. So it is an informal collaborative of things which has been happening in other places, and formal collaborative learning groups which has been assigned by the teachers, forming a group and giving them the task by assigning the real world problems. So the formal collaborative groups. And the next one is we will have a round table. So we can have them. Round table is a collaborative technique that students to assess prior knowledge. We call information and communication skills. The steps are write, share, and summarize. Okay. So you'll have a round table there. You can sit and do the thing. So each student writes one sentence about the given topic. So this is the normal thing which we'll do in the early practice. But in the collaborative learning, everything comes. Whatever we have discussed, everything we know it. But we are some of the people may be implementing, some of the people may not be implementing. So nowadays, because of this particular online teaching and other technologies, so we have to go with this kind of concepts by using collaborative learning and cooperation learning. So this particular share, the paper is passed around to the people and they can understand what is the concept is. And summarize after that, when the original is written, the student reads the comments from the group and shares the information. This is what the round table, which gives a solution for the particular problem. And the next one is Jigsaw, which is collaborative learning that gives student practice in the acquisition and presentation of new material. So interdependent, so what we'll do is each student on the team becomes an expert on one topic, and except group members from other teams assign their corresponding expert topic. Upon returning their teams, each one in turn teaches the group. Students are all assessed on aspects. So you know it. So we are giving them the topic and they are learning and coming back and giving the presentation. So everyone will be knowing about the concepts. Okay. And next one is you have this particular concept mapping. So concept mapping is each and every student will be given a different topic, different module and a different concept. They'll be learning it and they'll be presenting. So or otherwise we can have the method. Students write terms from the course on the large piece of paper. So lines are drawn connecting individual terms of indicate the relation between the terms. Okay. So they can easily understand. Developing the concept requires the student to identify the organized information and to establish meaningful relations between the piece of information. So like this also the technology can be shared. So this is for the understanding purpose, the collaborative learning. If you want to relate the thing, then this kind of practice can be developed to make the better understanding. Okay. So the collaborative based groups, so the long-term group that have been formed to last for at least a year. So at least a year, because if you are in a semester pattern, then you have to in the semester, at least in the semester, they have to be a group for learning the thing and doing the work and giving the implementation. Okay. So the approaches for this particular collaborative learning is, so learning is, we know it, learning is an active process, so it requires a challenge, and learners benefit when exposed to diverse viewpoints. So flourishes in a social environment. If you are giving the problems in real-time environment, real-time problems, so then it will be a learning process will be a flourishing one. And in the collaborative learning environment, you can get better results when you are going with this kind of real-time problems. Okay. And benefits are, so it gives higher level thinking skills, because already I said project-based learning and higher order thinking questions and higher order thinking problems, which will help to get the better solutions. Higher order thinking question, if you are giving, then they'll be learning the basics very well. If you want to implement the higher order thinking problems, then they'll be very good in the basics. Okay. And it promotes student faculty interaction and familiarity. So if the classroom teacher is teaching is happening, the teacher will be identified and interacted whenever the grading is given. But whenever it goes like collaborative teaching, the teacher can be interacted whenever it is required. Whenever they have the doubt to solve the problem, then the teacher will be interacted. And it increases the student retention and builds a self-esteem in students and promotes positive attitude to the students. So the collaboration in workforce is becoming increasingly more mobile and global, and we know it. Now we are in this particular era, and we are doing the particular thing. So here, which will enforce, so all the activity are through the online only. So we are doing everything in online only. So here, when we are doing everything through online, we should have some creativity. So the creativity alone makes the people to interact and the student to listen. But when we are going with the industry specific thing, their collaboration is needed whenever the people wanted to have the discussion. They wanted to implement something, then they'll have the discussion. And when we are going for the teaching learning process, it is very difficult. Nowadays, we are feeling that every teacher is feeling that we are not giving lecture in a real-time environment. Whether the student is listening or not, we are not aware of it. So everything is there. So to make active participation of the students, then we have to go with this kind of collaborative learning process. So we are in digital workplace. We have many tools are available. You people may be knowing it, Zoom and many things are there. MS Team and WebEx, many things are there. So that particular digital workplace can be used to interact with the people. So the features. So the digital workplace. So how this will help now? So to have a team sites and channels which is used to broadcast a common message to all the people, and the information which are needed for the learning process, that can be posted in the channel, and instant messaging can be done. The students can be easily communicated and easily reached, and document sharing is very easy. What happened is, in earlier days, we'll be using all those internal tools, internal software for uploading all the materials, and then they'll be downloading all these things was there. But when we use the online tool, MS Team and all, there itself we can do it. And the study material uploading and all, what we'll do is we'll have a study material, and that will be scanned and uploaded. That is what we do. But the MS Team itself, you using the whiteboard, if you by using tab, if you do that whiteboard writing, whatever you have, everything can be recorded. In earlier days, that is also digital workspace only. We had a smart board. Whatever we are writing, that will be recorded in your system. But this particular digital workspace, whatever tools we have, directly we can record everything. Whatever we are writing, everything easily recorded. It is visible to the student. There is no separate mode for uploading the thing, nothing. Everything is instantly available to the students. All the lectures are recorded. So initially, what happened is in VAT itself, we will have a separate and the recording studio. We'll be recording the lectures. Those we'll have in the building around 10 to 20 classrooms will be in a recording. Those classes, the important subjects will be given in that particular classroom. Teacher has to go there, and all the lectures will be recorded. Now every lecture is recorded. Each and every teacher, whatever they do, that has been recorded, and it is also immediately available to the students. Whenever the class is closed, and immediately recording is ready to download. The student whoever is not listening the class, they can easily download and they can view it. But the thing is, it is not a effective teaching. So I am delivering the lecture, it has been recorded, and they are seeing the video lecture. It won't be good enough to learn the things. That is what I'm saying. The collaborative learning plays an important role. So different things in your teaching, collaboration, project-based learning, all those things, higher order thinking, everything has to come. So when you are framing the question also, your question paper should be in the higher order thinking only. If you are giving the direct questions, many of the exams I have seen, the people have theory questions only. It has been asked in the question paper. So now I'm not saying in other way. So the questions are given like that. The students simply they'll copy it from the book. That is not an open book. The concepts has to be asked from the book, but the problem should be there. They have to relate the concepts and they have to give the solution for it. And also many people, what they'll do now, if the question is given, immediately they'll type the question in the Google and they'll get the answer. The challenge is the teacher has to frame the problem such a way that the problem should not be available on the internet also. So we people will be getting the intimation like that. We people are doing that. The student can't download the question. So they have to think and do it. In that way only we have to project and we have to attract the students to do the work. Then they'll be getting the better knowledge. Okay. So then they are able to attend the interviews and then they'll get good placements also. And which increases this particular video chat meetings and discussion forums, and personalized dashboards and mobile access whiteboards. That's what I said, whiteboards. So if you have the whiteboards, whatever you are writing, that will be saved. It is easy. The student need not to take the attendance. Whatever you are writing in the board, everything is captured. So in our classroom, and when I finish the class, I normally teach the thing through the board only, because image processing and computer architecture in organization, I used to teach through the boards. Whenever I finish the thing, the students in 2019 end, I'm saying up to 19 end, the people will be coming and capturing the information by using the mobile. Here mobiles are allowed, so they'll come and capture the information whatever I have written on the board. The same way, so but now it is everything whatever we are writing on the white writing on the board, it will be available. You can easily many people's mics are on. They are not seeing that, and I'm getting the disturbance. Still, which mic is on? Okay, so this is how this particular whiteboards will help to record all the information, and you'll have a task management and notifications and social and video communications. Everything are available through this particular digital work. And the benefits are, it is used to improve the communication, remove barriers between the people. Easily you can interact with the people. So if I wanted to have the communication with the teacher, I wanted to say something to the teacher, immediately you can communicate. So there is no barrier for it. And it is used to encourage the knowledge sharing and idea flow and creativity and innovation and anytime anywhere access, community building, increased employee productivity and employee engagement and retention, better process management, and benefit from AI machine learning. So these are the benefits of these particular things. So tools for digital collaboration, you might be knowing what are the different tools are available. Okay. So in that tools itself, you have the documents, calendars, and members, contacts, surveys, wiki, and tasks and discussions. Everything is available. So you can have the better forum for sharing the information. So it requires what are the information, we know it, what is required for doing this particular digital collaboration. So what are the things required are, it has been given for your information. I'm giving you the internet based and no limitation in your simultaneous participants, including instant messaging, integrated video and web conferencing, IP-based audio, enable integration internet and internet portals, APIs, strong focus on security and heavy encryption available for usage in sensitive circumstances, strong focus on usability and GUI, no heavy investments needed. This is how this particular thing. The collaborative areas are your project management. So what are the areas these things? Project management, an executive meeting, education. So everything we have taken in the aspect of education and we have discussed. Education and training we have discussed, and CRM, support, remote control, web seminar, emergency support, development support, interpretation, negotiation, expert access, and more. So the collaborative areas are more. So we can have more areas to interact. So challenges that might be solved with the digital collaboration. So where are the documents I need? Who is going to work together with? So this is very a difficult task over here, challenges. So where are the documents I need and who is going to work together with me? Because if it is a classroom, we have taken a class-based scenario and we have talked. If it is a class-based learning, everything will be interacting one another and they'll be knowing each other and they can easily frame the group. But here when we are going with the digital collaboration, we don't know who is the people and who is good in that particular. They don't have the mechanism. So separately they have to form another group and they have to interact. So that is a problem or challenge over here. So how to get to know when others can do their part of the job? This is also one of the challenges. So if it is a group, if it is available in person, that is different. When we are coming to the digital workplace and getting to know how these people are working, how this particular job is going to be done, that is a million more question. So that for that you have to do some mechanism for interacting with the people. So for example, I need someone's input and for doing the work, and that is also not possible when you are having this particular digital workspace. So these are the challenges you may have in this particular collaborative learning. Okay. So the conclusion is, so we have taken a collaborative and cooperation learning process. So here we have taken student teacher relationship, that is classroom teaching we have taken, and then we have talked about what is this collaboration, how this will help you in improving the knowledge of the students. And also I have talked about the grading system won't help the people to understand the collaboration teaching, and you won't be getting the better output in the collaboration teaching. So collaboration teaching without the grading, but some kind of evaluation will be there, and the final evaluation may be the PAT exam or other things. But the freedom should be given whenever it is going as a collaborative teaching. And these are the things we have seen, and some types and all those things we have seen. And many of the things, whatever information I shared, the people might be knowing it. Everyone might know it. If the participants are teachers, are students, and whatever it is, they'll be knowing it. But the perspective, what perspective, in which concept it comes under, we may not be aware of it. So who invented this? We have seen that no 1970s it has been invented, but we know that in Gurukulam days itself these kind of concepts were introduced in India. But the concepts which are another recorded, how it has been recorded, that's what we are seeing. The collaborative learning nowadays, it is not implemented fully, but some of the people are implementing it. Those collaborative learning which helps the student to learn the better things. So I'm concluding myself. So everyone have to practice this collaborative learning in their classroom teaching.